Next on Cartoon Chat.
Look away, Daphne. We all promised each other that we would never speak of him. Not ever.
This is the Animation Conversation. This is Cartoon Chat. I am one of your hosts, Bryan the Baltimorean, joined
at the bar getting drunk.
Joined alongside a technical director that's knocking this thing out of the park.
Chucky Finster in space! Or you can call me Canine Biscuits.
Chucky Finster. And of course, it's the man, you still can't find him anywhere but here. It's the Sir himself, king of the arcades. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, how do you enjoy your new studio setup? Your new extra camera. You're no longer, cuddled over here next to me here in this setup.
You guys used to be cuddle buddies.
Right over here in your own slot. Does it feel awesome to have your own window into the world?
I have less leg space.
You have less leg space. Well, that just comes with the budget. Once ratings increase, we will make sure that you have the most leg space possible.
I don't feel to utilize the full power of the Xbox Kinect.
We will fully. Oh my god. Wait.
For behind the scenes people, he's using a fucking Kinect we're using a Kinect for the camera because I recently got an Xbox One Kinect just for shits and giggles.
Yes.
I'm probably gonna do a Canine Biscuits review with it at some point, but it's also useful for another webcam.
He also wants to do kegels with it. So good for you, Mark.
What's kegel?
It's good. I'm glad that
Kegels.
You are really leaning
I have to look at Kegel. It's something dirty, isn't it?
No, it's just a workout. It's like yoga or whatever.
Oh.
I don't know. I was just going out.
I have fucking Dance Central.
Oh, there you go.
No, not Just Dance.
Oh.
I think 2018.
You should get
I don't care. Any Just Dance is just
fine. You should get Dance Dance Revolution. You probably have the steps for it.
They stopped making those games.
They did. It was like PS2 era.
The last one I think was for fucking Wii.
Everyone knows the Wii's not real.
Which is I'm sorry to go on a quick, but the Wii one is just too much peripheral, too much gimmicks because use the dance mat and the Wiimotes and nunchucks.
Oh yeah. That sounds extra. That sounds very extra.
And Just Dance just narrows it down to it's just motion.
Just the Wiimote and your body.
Yeah. If you're using it I think Just Dance is the best on the Kinect. Because it's just you're just dancing.
We tried it on my family tried it with the Xbox One Kinect and it was terrible. It did not sync up well.
I haven't tried the Xbox. I played the 360 one. I think that one goes fine.
You know what's weird? I think the PlayStation. This is a completely different conversation tangent.
We can go on here real quick.
Which is
our podcast.
No, it's just hilarious. This is a completely different tangent. But I will say the PlayStation Move variant is probably the better version.
You know what? I haven't tried the Wii one. Bring that flash drive over a little so we can try it.
Yeah, but no, I think again the Move version on PS3 was I think the best iteration. On PS4 was the best version of that.
Oh yeah, I'll look into it.
Yes, indeed. You just got to get that garbage PlayStation 4 camera. All right, so guys, as I said before, this is the Animation Conversation where we sit back, talk about a movie, a short, or an animated series. Today, it's an animated series. It's the long-length Scooby Doo franchise, and we're going to be talking about specifically Mystery Incorporated. We'll focus on 2 particular episodes, but we'll talk about our thoughts on the series. And of course, over here on Cartoon Chat, it's one of many podcasts we have, whether that's ScreenBlast, where we talk movies, Blasting Turbo Reports, where we talk video games, or Mark and Bryan Have a Cow, where it's memified world, random commercial topics, and just things we talk about that Martin will tell you about right now. Martin, what do we talk about on Mark and Bryan Have a Cow? As being one of the key members.
Definitely not me.
Exactly. So make sure to check out ScreenBlast Podcast.
That's wrong. We only talk about Martin on that show.
True. We only talk about you.
We roast. Dude, that podcast is specifically made to roast you.
Well, I don't know about
Have you ever listened to a single episode? You should. No, you shouldn't actually. You'll cry. You'll get your feelings hurt.
I'm not condoning bullying, but I am.
But unless it's pretty fucking funny.
On the next next all-new episode of Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated.
When your town is attacked by humungonauts.
That's a trademark name there.
And all else fails.
Let's get this freak show over with.
It's time to call in the one team with a talent for crime solving.
Mystery Incorporated.
It appears we have our suspect.
And a passion for fashion.
Team Uniforms.
You all look ridiculous.
Catch an all-new Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Tomorrow at 7 on Cartoon Network.
You could say that again.
And so before we get into Mystery Incorporated, definitely wanted to talk about the Scooby Doo franchise. Of course, this is long running. This is one of Hanna-Barbera's most valuable properties. It's one of their earlier properties as well. So when you think about the overall lineage of the network, of the brand itself, now it was around for a long time, but again, its value much more immense than a lot of the failed shows that it sort of made money off of and profited from in their short-term lives. So let's get into Scooby-Doo. I'll start with you, Martin, because you chose Mystery Incorporated. Why did you choose Mystery Incorporated? But first, tell me your nostalgia, your sort of base point for Scooby-Doo itself.
Well, I'm pretty sure that most people Scooby-Doo where I started was Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Wait, what the first one was? I'm not sure if that was the first series of the Scooby-Doo show, because I did watch all the Scooby-Doos up until that point.
Scooby Doo, Where Are You is the first one.
Okay, so Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And I know it's like movies, Scrappy-Doo, 13 Ghosts.
Yep.
I watched all of those. I didn't know they came after them because I thought they came before them because I didn't see them until later on. But yeah, I thought they came before Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? But apparently not. I did watch them older then. What's got me to I do enjoy Scooby-Doo. What's New Scooby-Doo is my favorite, and but is not the one I would recommend for people this right now. I would recommend we're watching now Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. It does hold to the formula of Scooby-Doo for the most part when it comes to the every episode mystery, but then behind it is an overarching continuity of an overarching mystery that's happening throughout in the background. It's not in every episode, but they do find bits and pieces spread throughout the seasons, so that it keep you invested. Like, oh, what is this big reveal? And it does. At the end, I do think in the end it's a pretty cool ending. But the reason why I'm pretty sure this is one of the most highly regarded series
In the lineage of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, at least with the series I know I've watched.
Yeah.
I haven't watched. I think of all the newest Scooby-Doos, I haven't watched any of the new Scooby-Doos.
Like last 5 years or so, or whatever.
Yeah, and I watched the movies, but they're not very good. But
What's the last one you watched?
the last one I watched was the 13 Ghosts.
The new one. Yeah.
Scooby-Doo and 13 Ghosts. And
I heard some of those are iffy, like Return to Zombie Island.
yeah, definitely don't watch that one.
Doesn't that destroy Zombie out the original?
Yes.
Yeah, it basically takes
The original rights were not on that at all.
Yeah, any of those movies from back then that you watch, they try to explain it away with a
To make it grounded, which it doesn't need because
it doesn't make sense because in the newer movies they're all teenagers again, but in those older movies they're adults.
Right.
So you're thinking like they try to mix in things like saying like, oh, Daffy didn't actually have a TV show. Like we have been to in the beginning of Zombie Island, she had a TV show, but they try to explain it like, oh, I had a camp or something where I did this a talk show host for this amount of time.
You never needed.
They
to
really didn't have to do that though.
But they did, and
yeah.
But that doesn't explain how Shaggy and Scooby had a job at the airport. Like, I doubt they would give a teenager a job at the airport.
Well, it was before 9/11.
Because like
if 9/11 happened in the Scooby-Doo universe.
there's like other Scooby-Doo. I guess they're trying to merge continuities because they're just like you can just think of those as like, oh, that's a different Scooby-Doo continuity.
Yeah,
exactly.
They could, but they didn't try to do that. So
because like I'm surprised like I want them to try to, if they're doing that, they might as well try to make sense of the James Gunn universe, the live action movies.
Yeah.
Which has actual supernatural stuff in it.
Yeah.
and Scrappy Doo as the villain.
Mark, I gotta ask you as well. As a Velma fan, as someone that has studied Scooby-Doo,
I knew you had to, you got out of the way early. You got that out of the way early.
I did. Because I smoothly lined it up last time, but this time.
By the way, second time recording, we had technical difficulties the first time.
You would avoid lining it up this time, so I had to get it out of the way this time.
What's this? Woo!
That's a Cartoon Chat middle finger.
Middle finger.
Tell us about your Scooby-Doo.
Alright, but I grew up with Scooby-Doo. I love, as a kid, I like, Where Are You? It's just very basic and formal, but it's wholesome. It's just kids solving mysteries, a talking dog. I never really cared about, the people who are actually solving mysteries, mainly,
Chinkies.
Velma, Daphne, and Fred. They're there. But, I'm just there to watch, Shaggy and Scooby be, goofballs. These junky goofballs who, probably smoke weed off camera. They're just fun to watch. And, same thing with every other series, What's New, and, Scooby-Doo Guess Who. They're all, just, fun and wholesome. My favorite one is a pup named Scooby-Doo. I think that's, the first one to actually make fun of the formula. And it's a really funny show. And also a lot of the modern ones are good. Again, What's New Scooby-Doo is just a modern version of the older Scooby-Doo Where Are You, and even to the point where it even has a laugh track. Shaggy Scooby-Doo Get a Clue is pretty much just it's Scooby-Doo, but it's just Shaggy and Scooby on their own adventures. I think, but it's more
it's more it's more life thing because they're always in that mansion just chilling out. But I know they had that one enemy guy who appeared a certain episode.
Yeah, it's more frantic than a regular Scooby-Doo too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo Guess Who is arcing back to some of the classics. Scooby-Doo shows, but with guest stars, you got Weird Al Yankovic or Steve Urkel's in one of them. I think I heard behind a behind the scenes story somewhere someone actually suggested Hatsune Miku to be in the episode and they got declined. So one of the writers on the show or something like that, which is funny. Well, I know there's another one I wanted to name. Oh yeah, Be Cool Scooby-Doo. That gets a bad rap, but it's just it's a nice normal cartoon and it's more comedic based. It gets a bad rap because the art style almost looks like Family Guy. It's not entirely Family Guy-ish, but the art style almost looks like there. It's definitely not animated like Family Guy, but it's an okay funny show. And the movies are a lot of the older movies are really good.
All great ones.
Yeah, the great ones, and then the later ones just get iffy. We just talked about that. Zombie Island is probably one of my favorite of the older movies, and it's written by the people who make SWAT Cats. And SWAT Cats is golden. And there's the live action movies, the ones James Gunn made, and I have a soft spot. I have some of the nostalgic soft spot for the first one. Second one's iffy. But the funny thing about the second movie though, the post credit scene. You want to know about the post credit scene in the second movie, Brian?
Oh, I've been waiting to hear this all my life. Please.
All right. So of course there's movie.
Tell me.
Shut the fuck up. I'm setting it up. So of course there's movie tie-ins, right?
Oh my god.
Video game tie-ins.
Oh my god.
There is a GBA game for Scooby.
No
Game Boy.
way.
Shut the fuck up. There is a Game Boy Advance game for Scooby-Doo 2: Monsters Unleashed. If you beat it regularly, you just get the bad ending. To get the good ending, you need the secret code. The post credits of Scooby-Doo 2: Monsters Unleashed is Scooby-Doo playing the Game Boy, and then he looks at the screen and Game Boy, that's secret code, and he just gives you the secret code.
So you
and it's SD. The secret code, by the way, secret code is just SD too, and that's how you get the good ending.
Game Boy Advance secret code.
I'll be
so I will send you the clip and you can insert it later, but because we won't get caught because it's just a short clip, and they put that in a theatrical movie. So there was probably some unfortunate kid who got Scooby Doo 2, and he was really invested in that game, and he was like, "Why am I keep getting the bad ending?" And then like he went to go see Scooby Doo 2 in theaters, and he saw the secret code, and he's like, "Holy crap!" And he probably went in to probably put the code in, and he probably forgot, and he was like, "Mom, can we see the movie again?"
That better have been on one of those stupid cheat code booklets. I swear to God.
I'm pretty sure
It better-
somebody somewhere went and wrote that thing online, put it on cheat code or somewhere.
Yeah, man. Those cheat code books were
That
valuable
is
back in the day,
absolute nonsense.
Yeah, that's atrocious. Oh, wait until the very end of this sequel.
What
to
if
the
I
movie?
decided
Oh
I
my
wanted to go
God.
see that movie?
Yeah, like not a lot of us chose not to. Like, my God.
And of course, there's
You didn't mention, by the way, your favorite Scooby Doo.
let's save Velma to the end
Okay, all right.
because
He didn't deny it.
What? Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the first. Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna say right now. I watched the first episode 3 times. You watched 3 episodes of that shit, motherfucker.
And somehow it's your favorite.
I watched. One of those showings were for you.
And
Oh wait, hold on. Were for
What? What?
were for you.
Are
Not Martin. Imagine I'm pointing through Martin. Were for you.
Yeah, sure. No, absolutely. Again, you have not denied it. So, I'll go ahead and get into...
No! It's not my favorite.
So,
Bitch! What's your history with Scooby-Doo?
It took him so long to admit that. So, look, I'm not a huge Scooby-Doo fan, but it's a good background series for me. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. Literally, like, look, if you grew up with Cartoon Network like me, I think you knew about the original Scooby-Doo series being rerun very often on the network. In the early 2000s, you had, obviously, What's New Scooby-Doo. I just think because of its value on, I think it would aired on Kids WB, and, yeah, it was Kids WB first, and then it jumped over to Cartoon Network. So you were going to get it either if you were a Saturday morning cartoon kid, or you ended up watching on cable anyway. You were going to get that show. So it just had that precedent of being on cable and on local network TV, so it had a lot of eyes on it. That's why that Simple Plan intro and theme is so popular with so many people, because so many people saw that show.
Scooby-Doo is like known for kick-ass theme songs.
Yeah, but this one took it to a whole, like, if you were born between 1990 and 2000, or let's say 1980s and 2000, or 1980s and 2005, just growing up in that time period and feeling that theme, it's like you probably know the tone and energy they're trying to go for. That 2000s vibe sends you right back to when you were a kid. So it's not just a good sounding theme, it's also just a throwback to the 2000s as well. So
I don't care about the TV movies. You listen to the remix. They remix a song for the TV movie. It's the exact same length, but like it's just like they just pretty much did another minute-long cover.
I'd have to re-listen to it because again, a lot of the TV movies I watched when I like the big nostalgic thing I remember is it's summertime, it's 100 degrees outside, I'm in the basement, I'm watching cable, and there's Scooby Doo, it's just on, and Nickelodeon decided they're not going to air a cartoon. So, fuck it, I'll just go back to Cartoon Network. And it's Scooby-Doo, and that's fine, and maybe they have one of those movies on, one of their movies, Scooby-Doo movies, and it's fine. For me, it's mostly background noise. I didn't really get engaged. But the thing at its core with Scooby-Doo is that it's like this classic sort of mystery, obviously, this whodunit with teenagers and a talking dog, which is, you can see why it had such a following. I mean, you have all these whodunit murder shows that are much more serious in tone, like Law and Order and 48 Hours and all of these, like whether it's real or fictional, people really love these murder mysteries. So you can see why a show like this caught on, and it was just more than elementary level, and that's how it caught on. Overall, it's an understandable thing and property to actually have caught on. I didn't really ride the tidal wave, and by the time Mystery Inc. came out, as we'll talk about, there were just a lot of options on Cartoon Network at that point. So I was also in high school. So
I just want to speak a little bit more on Scooby-Doo Outside of Mystery Incorporated real quickly. It's just
and one at a time.
I know, I think the main continuity of Scooby-Doo, it's supposed to be Scooby-Doo can talk, but only Shaggy can understand him. But in certain ones, I think everybody else can. I know in Scoob, everyone can understand him.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Misty Incorporated, but like, can people just understand Scooby in that one?
Yeah, everyone understands what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's actually, I think this is the smartest he's been in the series so far.
They probably had to change it up for this one then.
Yeah.
'Cause I think in the older ones, it's like, nobody really acknowledges that he's talking. It's not like they can't understand him. It's not like Courage where, like, Tamira and Hughes is like, but like,
You just were waiting, did you? You were saving that all day.
I was not.
I think you were.
I just remembered that. But like, it's just like, it is the only Shaggy kind of just like, he doesn't like translate, he just acknowledges that he's saying something. Also, Scooby-Doo is like the king of crossovers.
They have WrestleMania, they have, like everything, man. WrestleMania.
They teamed up with Courage,
yeah.
even though like the creator was not involved in that one. He teamed up with like the other Hanna-Barbera characters multiple times. He appeared in other things like Johnny Bravo, Teen Titans Go, which Teen Titans Go is almost rival thing.
What? Rivaling?
It's almost matching them in crossovers.
Yes, well that's just because it's not dead yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Almost everyone in DC, like a ton of those like later movies are just who can we cross over with now?
All the superheroes, yeah. It's crazy.
I think the most recent Scooby-Doo movie, because by the way, a lot of these movies were coming out yearly, and like Scooby-Doo has been in many formats, from like puppetry to stop motion to like Legos, even Legos.
That's right.
It's like I think like ever since like Scoob the Scoob movie, the Scoob Christmas special got written off for taxes, they kind of just like stopped those. I think the last movie to come out was like a Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2, and I think that one was supposed to get like written off too, but like for some reason I guess like it got saved.
Dogs.
It was leaked, and then it just like they was like, I guess Warner Bros was like, and now we're just gonna release it.
Yeah, dogs.
Dogs.
Dogs don't make money.
Stupid dogs.
Dogs will make money. I think they thought, yeah, Scooby Doo and dogs will make money.
Oh, also Scoob, mediocre movie. Not my favorite.
We didn't really need to bring that up, but sure.
I mean, I when it came out, I bought it for like $25 on Amazon. Scoob is a mediocre movie. They were trying to make a whole new Scooby Doo continuity with it, and it just like kind of falls flat.
Absolutely.
Did you see it? I think were you there for the movie night with us?
No.
Okay, yeah. Did you see it though?
No.
You don't need to.
I don't.
It was just Scooby Doo, but like,
no.
It's on.
Once I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, they're doing this with Scooby Doo? Fuck no, I'm good.
It was funny.
There's some funny jokes in there, but like I've seen the clips of the jokes, but I'm good.
What's funny enough is everyone reboots are like starting off the same way, because Garfield does the same thing too, where it's like, let's show them as babies first and sell that merchandise of them as babies.
Yeah, but it's also like the premise is stupid.
Because even Sonic, the first Sonic movie did that too. Like, here's Sonic as a baby. Now we can sell you Sonic babies.
Indeed. All right, let's get moving. Let's keep it rolling. All right, let's get into the series detail here.
This is where it ends.
And if you think you know how it's all going to end,
Truthfully, it's a five-way tie.
You don't have a clue.
Subtle.
catch a special episode of Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Tonight at 7:30, 6:30 Central on Cartoon Network.
All right, now, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated here. This is a series that debuted back on April 5th, 2010. It actually ended the same day 3 years later, which is a very good precision sort of scheduling. Probably because of the way that it was structured. They kind of knew how they were going to structure it and wrap it up there. It's a 52-episode length, 2 seasons, produced by Warner Brothers and aired on Cartoon Network. When you look at the cast here, you have actually Frank Welker obviously stays around. He is Fred and Scooby-Doo. You have Mindy Cohen as Velma. You have Gray Delisle as Daphne. And you have Matthew Lillard from, obviously, the Scooby-Doo live-action films staying on as Shaggy. Now, Mark...
He had a funny cameo in Looney Tunes Back in Action.
If you like Goof on Me in the sequel, I'm coming after you.
Yeah, and I'll give you a Scooby Snack.
This series is actually pretty interesting because there's a couple things here that are not normal for what we had seen for the most part out of the Scooby-Doo sort of legacy. This was the first Scooby-Doo series that was not purposely aired on Saturday mornings. So it's the entire run of Scooby-Doo had been, this is a Saturday morning cartoon. That's its aim. No longer. This was a completely different direction for it. This was the first that really focused entirely on a long-term overarching plot. You know, and the thing that's interesting is they like the design of the 70s clearly, but it's still very modern. Like, you still have characters...
Even more modern than what's new. Yeah.
Yeah, like, characters mention, like, blogs, and then they talk about, have smartphones and stuff. So, like, they're still very much, like, in the present, but they're still, at the same time, delving into the 70s design. You know, all of the outfits are still in that 70s thing. The last thing I want to mention is this was a great synergistic time between Warner Brothers Animation and Cartoon Network. Like, and this is the reason why I just didn't watch it at the time, because like this was the point when Cartoon Network was reintroducing itself to everyone. Because again, like 2010 is the same point in time, 2010, 2011, when this show was running, you had regular show just airing Adventure Time, just airing Ben 10, Ultimate Alien, Generator Rex, which was expanding off of Ben 10. You had Symbiotic Titan, which didn't last long, but still was an interesting take. You had Robotomy, same thing, didn't last long, but interesting idea. Warner Brothers came out with, again, Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated. They had Mad, which was awesome. They had Young Justice, they had Thundercats, and then the Japanese merch-driven shows were on here too. You had Bakugan, Pokemon, Beyblade, and Yu-Gi-Oh! So if you were on Cartoon Network in 2010, 2011, 2012, there was something for you to enjoy. And so this kind of got lost in the sauce.
What's funny is, like, I think, at the time of this recording, we pretty much just passed its 11-year anniversary.
Yes.
Like, April 5th. Did Teen Titans Go already air? Is that coming in a couple months later?
It likely aired after in 2013 is when Teen Titans Go debuted, so it either aired right before or after, but again, its final air date was April 5th, 2013, and I think Teen Titans Go was in 2013 or 2014.
By the way, I just looked it up on Binge Clock. To watch this entire show all the way through is 1 day and 2 hours.
Huh. That is a long stretch, but it's definitely short on the other end of the spectrum of the long.
You're unemployed, you can do it.
Apparently, to finish Mystery Incorporated, it takes 1 day.
1 day and 2 hours.
Oh, you were just watching every... Okay. No.
Yeah, 52 episodes.
I looked it up on Binge Clock.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was, again, like, we'll get into the overall discussion of the show. What do you like, Martin, about Mystery Incorporated?
Nothing!
The series. I know we talked about Scooby Doo, and I know you highlighted quite a few things, like notably the fact that it had that overarching plot. But as we get into more of the focus of, here are these episodes, like I watched a couple episodes myself. What do you like about this show that kind of makes it stand out?
Nothing! Now get out!
What do you dig?
Yeah, I like... When I actually didn't catch this when it first came out, I literally just watched one episode, and it was actually the episode we're going to talk about later, was the first episode I actually watched.
Gotcha.
And I was like, oh shoot. Like, what just happened? So I had to go back and watch it all over again, and I was like, this is a really good take on the Scooby Doo franchise formula.
Yeah.
And when I went into it and I watched it from the beginning, I didn't particularly. There were some aspects I didn't particularly like, and I'll tell about that later. And but for the genuine overarching continuity, I was so intrigued by the mystery of past events and what's happening in this area. And I think this is the first series, where they were so like exploring that where the Scooby Doo buddy lived.
Yeah, that this entire town setting.
Yeah, I know that like up near Scooby Doo, they were always also in Coolsville.
Yeah, but this is much more.
No, it was Coolsville.
It was cool. This is a different setting. This is not. They travel here. This is not their home, their key home. This is they go here to this setting here.
No, they live in Crystal Cove.
They live in Crystal Cove, but before it was. So this is their this series. This is their home.
Yeah.
What I mean.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So I like that they explore the town. You get the similar get to see like their families, how the dynamics of how the parents are, and which I'm gonna tell you, I really hate their parents. Mostly all the adults in this country, in this city, because they're really stupid. But like
it's funny is they're like the parents are like the original voice actors.
Like, and it just but like I said, the story just took me when I first saw the episode and I saw the how serious it was, but at the same time comedic. How like it showed someone actually dying. Well, it didn't show her dying, but
No.
But for the most part, she did. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that
oh shit,
was- yeah.
she actually just died.
That is quite a We'll talk
Uh,
about that.
so-
yeah,
But yeah,
that is quite a hook
yeah.
for a Scooby Doo show where it's like
Yeah, so I knew as soon as I saw it, like, yeah, I gotta go back and see what happened and how they got here. So that was my I think that was my summer for just my summer show that year. I just watched that all the way through.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten into this show because I heard how good it was, but like that's the thing with me in continuity shows. It's if I miss a train to like start it, I just put on my backlog and say I'll do it later, and then
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
it
that
takes
is
me
how
long
it
to
is.
do it later. That's why there's so many famous
But
shows I haven't started of. Or like there's some continuity shows. I mean like most anime too, where it's like I'm usually on the train and then like I get off at one stop and the train just is like by the time I'm trying to get back on the train is already gone and it's just like going so far.
Yeah, no, I mean that's,
By that I mean like I miss like a couple
you
episodes.
just, you miss a chunk and it's like wow, they've already gone
Which is
half the next season already, and I don't know.
The best example for me with that is Steven Universe. I was watching the first season Steven Universe. I enjoyed it. I didn't fall off of it because I like of Steven Universe because I didn't like it. It's just like I missed a couple episodes and then like it just started to get like a big plot and it just kept going and it's like I can't catch up with this man.
It didn't help also that Cartoon Network back then was obviously giving Teen Titans. We'll briefly talk about it's like Teen Titans Go got more airtime. They would place Steven Universe in the worst air times because it didn't get high ratings because they would put it in weird air times. So that didn't help it either. But yeah, this reminds me of the Adventure Time finale. Like, I watched Adventure Time season 1, 2, 3, but like after a certain point, it's like I just couldn't keep up with it. And then like by the finale, it's like oh, I'll watch the finale. Why not? And then like you just see like Jake looks complete, and you had Finn. It's like what
happened?
You know, what happened to everyone? And it's like you're so out of the loop that you're like wow, these are completely different people. You know, at least with the regular show, you can kind of still connect with it.
Yeah.
But man, Adventure Time had gone so far that it was like a completely different situation by the time it had ended.
Speaking of that, I hear Fiona and Kick is good. I need to watch that.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. But yeah, in terms of what I'd say overall about Mystery Incorporated, I watched 4 episodes. We'll talk about the 2 that you recommended. But I watched sort of 2 other episodes. This episode where there was the cicada guy, the scientist that likes cicadas, and then the Dead Justice episode. And I watched both of those. The thing that I found interesting was like, you know, they subvert your expectations, but they don't really show you how. Like in I think some previous Scooby Doo's, it would be, oh, it's so obvious it's this guy. You know what I mean? Like you'd get a reference.
Old Man Jenkins.
Oh, it's him. We saw him all over the place before. It makes sense. What they would do instead, pretty regularly, it seems, or at least not pretty regularly.
It was Old Man
But
Jenkins.
in 2 of the episodes was in the 2 episodes I had seen was because I watched season 1 episode 13 and season 1 episode 24 was they would show you this person that looked very much like it would fit the clues. Like, oh yeah, this professor, he loves cicadas and insects and he hates this corporation and the people of the corporation are getting killed off. And it's like, oh, well, this guy's clearly the guy. And it's like, no, it was actually the mother of the formula of the company. It's like that you didn't learn anything about that. You had no information about that whatsoever, and it just was dropped upon you at the moment that it was revealed. That's it, and that you were not ever going to know that it was going to be that person. And so the whole episode, they don't actually give you the villain's backstory and lead up of why they did it. It's more like
Which Scooby Doo we're talking about? Mystery.
yeah. Again, I'm talking about a couple episodes that I watched out of Mystery Incorporated. So the second one is Dead Justice, and it's about this sheriff that, you know, gets the Crime Stopper of the Year award, and the actual sheriff wants to get the award, who, by the way, voiced legendarily by obviously Patrick Warburton, which is awesome. But,
yes. And he's just playing Kronk.
That's it. He's just a dummy.
It's Kronk in this,
and that's cool. But he's charming, but he's a doofus. But like through the whole thing, it's like, wow, here's this guy. So so you have this guy named Dead Justice, and there's a certain guitar tone that gets played whenever he shows up, and then this other character named Night Ranger, suspiciously that looks like Night Justice, or Dead Justice, I mean, same guitar strings come up. Yep. And through the whole episode, you get the same guitar strings over and over and over, and then at the end, it's like, no, it's not him, it's actually the sheriff's buddy that actually wanted to become the sheriff. He was jealous, and it's like, we didn't, and it's like, a few of these episodes, and again, that's not a problem, it's like, because what's instead happening is you're learning more about our cast here. You're learning more about you're learning about the meddling kids. You're not learning about, oh, look at this backstory. You're learning more about the kids themselves. You're learning about the characters around around Scooby and Shaggy and Velma and Daphne and Fred. Like, you're learning about them instead of the villains. And so it still catches you out of nowhere, and it isn't explained at all, and it's almost pointless to even go on this quest because you're not going to explain it, but it is still interesting that you are at least developing these characters and having them go through some sort of journey.
The thing that a lot of episodes will do, they'll have like one of the main cast go or ha, because they'll look at something a lot longer, or they'll hear something and they're like, oh man, this is similar to this.
Exactly.
And they'll get like a split second, and you're like, oh, that person just figured out who it was really. So you'll see like they're in. This is also a test because I like it. Each one of them are like each one of the people in the group are like a detective in their own right in this one.
Yes.
Like they all to a degree can put the mystery together. That's not just Velma. Velma is the smartest. Don't get me wrong, and she will.
That's why she has her own show.
Mark's favorite. But look,
Brian's favorite.
Like I just found that at certain times of this show, and then I'll pass it over to Mark. But at certain times, I found with the show that like even when they did have those moments where it's like, oh, like in those 2 episodes alone, it's like they would say like that, like you said, and like they would make the connection, but it would be the connection to the wrong person that didn't make sense in the end.
No. I'm saying like sometimes they would make a connection to the right person.
Oh yeah.
They would do that, but they wouldn't explain it to you. You wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly right.
And they wouldn't explain it to you, so you go to the like, hey, why'd you do this? And then because the only person who get it is that one person.
That's right.
That one person will match like, oh, and then he'll say, oh, I knew who it was, and then they'll explain themselves.
Right.
Like why I do it, which is actually something I don't like. I think some of the reasons why they did what they did are extremely stupid. Like, it's just like
some of the reasons the villains did the things that they did. Yeah,
like there's one episode where I'm sorry, I'll
no, go ahead.
There's one episode where they were playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons, basically.
Yeah.
And the reason he did all the things is because they killed off his character.
Oh. Ooh.
And it's just like, you did all of this because they killed off your character. And you haunted them.
Some of these guys take that very seriously. I mean,
like, so I'm like,
careful.
okay.
Gotta be careful, Ron. Clearly, gotta be careful.
I'm not gonna say that if someone killed my Dungeons and Dragons character off, I would be really pissed off. I would be pissed off.
You wouldn't show up at school?
But I wouldn't. I wouldn't show up to school.
Good. I'm not answer that question.
I wouldn't build the device to go into their dreams in order to scare them.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, but there are a lot of stupid reasons for doing things. I get it.
I mean, I had worse grudges. Like one time, Brian like threw a red shell at me in Mario Kart, and like.
Well, that's something to be apologized over. Like if someone threw a blue shell at me right at the end of the race, I'd be pissed off at them like for the rest of the week. Like,
I don't know about that.
I'm still pissed at Brian.
I would just say rematch. I don't know what the fuck you guys are on about. I guess you guys are trash at Mario Kart. We'll figure that out.
I'm not. No. But anyway, like there are some stupid.
Okay, you have the ability to say that, but like if you like you're the one like who threw the red shell. I'm the one I'm the victim here.
Sure. And if you guys threw a red shell at me at the finish line, I'd be pissed. But then I'd be like, next race, I got you. Meanwhile, Mark wants to fucking mow 12 people down outside. I'm like, Jesus, chill out, Mark.
And I have no regrets.
I have no regrets. Mark, wait. So
I'll do it again.
Mark, before we get into the overall review of the 2 episodes, do you have any regrets about this show? What do you think about
everything? But like, but like you're talking about like the reveal of like who the person is. This is why I like a pup named Scooby Doo, because they make fun of that format, because it's literally called a red herring, and like they have a character called Red Herring, and I like at the end of every episode, like, because Red Herring is this bully, and they make sure like he's like the most hateful bully to like not just the mystery gang, but mostly just Fred, and like that's why at the end of every episode Fred is like is blaming Red Herring, like it's definitely Red Herring, and then Red Herring comes at the side of the screen, it's like, guess again, stupid. And there was like one episode where Fred he learned from this, and he was like, well, I know this time it's definitely not Red Herring. Pull the mask, Red Herring!
There you go.
That show was so funny.
I remember that episode.
Yes, everyone does. That show is so funny.
I don't.
Huh? Watch it. It's a future cartoon channel.
No, someone made a wager to him not to say Red Herring was the for the entire episode. Yeah, they made a wager, so he couldn't tell anyone. He couldn't say Red Herring. You're Red Herring. So at the end of the episode, it turned out it was actually Red Herring. He was like, I knew it.
I love that show so much. But like, it's a pretty good show. I would definitely binge it if I had the time. It's definitely on my watch list.
You're talking about Pup or Mystery?
Mystery.
Okay.
Pup is a later cartoon chat. It's tomorrow's cartoon chat.
Yeah, we're doing that tomorrow. Then we're doing What's New. Then we're doing Velma. That's gonna be back to back to back to back. We're just gonna marathon until we.
Spoiler alert, folks. Every Scooby Doo cartoon chat is gonna involve.
By the way, Velma's getting an episodic review. Every episode's getting a cartoon chat.
Every minute is getting its own podcast. Every frame. Every frame.
Thank you very much.
I just love how Martin's like, yeah, you guys do that. I'm not involved.
By the way, you know season 2 is already confirmed for this year. I'm not joking.
What did you think about? So you said that you would binge this if you had the time.
Yeah, cause this is an interesting concept, and I'm glad they actually did it, because Scooby Doo has been involved in many formats, and the fact they tried a Gravity Falls style continuity is it's definitely a format that's fitting in the show, and of course it will work really well for it. And I have a soft spot for Scooby Doo. I like the series. There was no. Scooby Doo is there was never a Scooby Doo thing I hated until Velma. Scooby Doo at worst has only made me bored in some cases. I think the Scooby Doo things I just have skipped is some of the direct to video movies, some of the direct to TV live action movies.
Watch Return to Zombie Island. You'll hate that one.
Oh yeah. I know there's a live action movie that is just Velma and Daphne. Live action Velma and Daphne the movie. I think it's called Velma and Daphne something. Mystery.
Did that actually come out? I remember hearing
that exists. It actually came out. It's a thing.
Well, that's exclusively.
It's a live action Velma and Daphne direct to video movie.
It's exclusively on Max, most likely.
Probably not. It's probably not even on there.
I don't know.
There's a lot of things missing on Max.
The way that Warner Brothers.
They're probably not paying to keep that on their servers, because Disney Plus. They will keep junk on there. Yes. HBO Max is why do we have this on here? Bye.
Yeah. Ridiculous. All right. So
yeah. This show is definitely it's more Scooby Doo, and it's from the episodes I've seen, and I think I'd probably like a little bit more if I binge the whole thing.
Absolutely. Let's get into the
news.
Not the news. So again, our episode focus today were 2 key episodes. Martin, I think these episodes were great choices. We kind of, if you could pass Cartoon Chat watchers have unfortunately seen our thrashing of Jackie Chan Adventures.
I tried really hard to get this one.
You gave him 4 fucking episodes.
Yeah. No, well, he gave us 3, but it was a 2-parter.
Oh no, I told you. I was like, all right, it's Martin chose another cartoon that I haven't seen before. Give him 2 episodes.
Solid. Demon World Together is actually pretty cool as a concept, but it's not given enough time. It's
you listed part 2,
but part 2.
You should have listed part 1 and 2.
Wait, I didn't choose Demon World. I chose the fucking Hollywood one.
But you listed to me part 2, and we were talking about part 1 and 2.
Didn't. So I think if it was part 2, that was if it's part 2 and there's a.
I've listened to many podcasts where if they just list
for this debate to be when we do Cars. This is gonna be great.
If they just list part.
Maynard was in the right. What the fuck's wrong?
Yes, he was. But if they just list part 2, they only talk about part 2. I thought that was I assume you guys would watch like part 1, but like it would just be like referenced. Part 2 would just be the main discussion, and you guys had the main discussion be part 1 and part 2, and you didn't list part 1.
Can we,
To camera, sir. To camera.
You should have changed the camera angle. That's on you. That's on you.
Rotate 90 degrees. What's wrong with you? Pan shot, pan shot, pan shot. All right. So again, the episode focus is going to be on season 1, episode 14, which is the very cool idea of the mystery solving club state final, and of course, season 2, episode 11, the Midnight Zone.
Should number 11.
The midnight you have been taken into the Midnight Zone.
No, so the last thing I want to say about Scooby Doo being like Scooby Doo Missing Incorporated being a continuity show, it seems like they wouldn't go through this concept again, except for Velma.
Well, again, I don't want to spend any more time talking about.
We're not, but like it's sad. Like it's
ground for an idea.
That's like the only time they try it again, and it's like with the worst like incarnation.
But hey, she got a Medal of Freedom for it.
This
So.
gets into supernatural stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean this
like
yeah,
like sci-fi.
Yeah, you're talking about Mystery Inc.
Yeah,
no, it's great. Yeah,
it does
cool.
get into sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, no, it's cool. We're not talking about that. We're talking about fucking Velma and how trash it is.
Oh yeah, from what I know, Velma is still mostly grounded.
Our tangent was more. The tangent is far off now.
We just can't ignore Velma. We're talking about Scooby Doo because we're not going to talk about another Scooby Doo thing this year. It's just like
God no, unless we do a vote off on trash topics.
Well, we're going to like Pup Named Scooby Doo. We are doing, but that's definitely next year. That's on a dog for next year.
Especially since your 3 selections are. I'm gonna block that out.
You gotta edit it out.
I'll block that out. I'm not gonna reveal it. Or 3
Future Brian blocked it out.
Movies from the future. So yeah. All right. Let's talk about the episode 1. Episode 14 of season 1. This was the mystery solving club state final. Just an interesting idea. I used to have a thing on at Democracy called Crossover Month. This is a very just solid idea for a crossover month that revolves around the idea that the sidekicks.
I mean, if you're doing Scooby Doo alone, you'll have endless material.
Yes, but
or Teen Titans Go.
Yes, but I tell you what, I would not have ever thought about going deep, like digging into Mystery Incorporated and finding this. I would have found some sort of movie or some sort of special or something like that. And that's where I would have gone into. But this is just a very special thing where it treats the sidekicks as the focus here of this whodunit situation. And, it's like they're always pushed off to the side. They get to say some wacky line, but they're not the ones that are really the discoverers of said thing. They're just the sidekicks. And it gives them the focus, right? Like, I love this idea. I love everything about sort of the journey. It's a simple concept, like, Scooby Doo gets sick, and he just dreams about this concept essentially, and it's an adorable idea that allows us to re-reference things that are part of a animation studio that no longer exists.
Just another thing. It seems like the regular spoiler. This episode is a dream sequence, but like. The regular world of the show does take like some Hanna-Barbera characters and like repurpose them into the regular world, which is pretty cool. I like when Hanna-Barbera shows do that. A lot of Hanna-Barbera shows just like to do that. And the best one, and one of my favorite ones that do that is the one that's currently running, Jellystone. Jellystone is a fun show. No Hanna-Barbera fans here.
Sorry. I was like, all right. Well, I said my overall thoughts on it. And I didn't know if you had any thoughts on the episode overall.
Oh, you wanted to get my thoughts? I think it's a fun episode.
No, Mark, I didn't just say that. Speak,
Mark. I thought we were just going to go through the... I don't know, you had a couple of screenshots or something. I guess this is it.
Yeah, we could... I just wanted to, just overall, the episode is... I think it's simple enough. It's a cool concept. But go ahead and tell me your thoughts there.
Oh, this is a fun episode. Like a Scooby-Doo interacting with, like, the other Scooby-Doo ripoffs, because like there's like a Hanna-Barbera made a ton of Scooby-Doo ripoffs back in the day, and like
yes.
This episode doesn't have all of them. It probably has some of the notable ones, not even all the notable ones.
I think mostly just Jabberjaw and Speed Buggy.
It's Jabberjaw, Speed Buggy, Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman. I don't remember the ghost name.
The Funky Phantom.
Okay,
Which
I've never
his
watched
name, Funky Phantom is not his name, but they call him a Funky Phantom. His name is actually like Mudsley. And
Oh
like,
my God.
but like they Funky Phantom, like they only say Funky Phantom's only the name of the show, and like that's what they say during the intro. But like they call him Mudsley. I never watched the show, but I did like look that shit up.
Hey, and before I don't want to interrupt you, but if you guys were ever curious as to why and how Hanna-Barbera had an 8,500-hour library when it was purchased by Turner Broadcasting back in like 1991, this is why. This is some of the stuff that was in there. Just you're talking about just like, hey, you know, Scooby Doo was successful, and now ABC wants us to make a version of it that's like this, and we can make another version like this, and we'll make this, and it's like, holy cow! Like the amount of stuff that they made that's either copy paste.
Not
or
gonna
just kind of
say
slight variation is incredible.
didn't enjoy
Yeah, so many
the
weird
copies.
ones. I think there's like
I was a huge Jabberjaw fan. I that was the only other one that I really watched religiously.
I wasn't a fan of Jabberjaw, but this fucking music video kicks ass. Me and my friends get no respect. What the Scooby Doo that we neglect?
Was that on Boomerang?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
And also, like,
I
they
saw
like
none of
redesigned
it. I
the characters for
cared
that
about
theme
none of
song. Jabberjaw looks badass.
I did watch Jabberjaw. Jabberjaw was the one I did watch. I didn't know about Speed Buggy until what was it? It was something he showed up in Johnny
He did a
Bravo.
cameo on OnlyFans. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Fucking
There was
Johnny Bravo.
there was a great Johnny Bravo episode that like parodied Scooby Doo, and like he
Yeah.
shows up at the very
And I was
end.
like, who was that? And I was
Voiced by Frank Welker, who also voices
Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
shut up.
even
He
though-
voices Speed Buggy in this too.
Why did you saw us right? Fuck you. Fuck you, I'm right, in the words of Hannibal Buress from
Yeah, well, you already mentioned it earlier, so that's like fucking
Hey, man.
old news. You already mentioned to the audience earlier.
Breaking news, I said a fact. Martin, why did you choose this episode? Because this is a fun... Is it just the idea of the
basically, it's
crossover, the references? What do you think?
Yeah, basically just a great throwback to that era of in the Scooby-Doo clones. And like, since I was such a big fan of, well, one of them anyway, I was just like, I was thinking to myself, this is one of the episodes that it pulled up the nostalgia of me as a kid watching these back when they were relevant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I really enjoyed the whole aspect of letting the sidekicks get the saying the matter instead of having all of the teens get that one that have to be saved. Even though technically, if you think about it, the sidekicks should be able to save the kids a lot.
Oh, yeah.
They actually do save them a lot in the regular shows.
Well, the thing about the Funky Phantom is like he's not a sidekick in his show.
Oh, I don't know. I don't.
I know.
I just looked it up, but like he's not. Well, I mean, I looked it up before like while I was watching.
Well, he's the main character. Like,
yeah, he's the main character of his show.
Okay.
But they just made him a sidekick, I guess, in that. But it's a different continuity. He's an actual ghost in his show.
He's a sidekick in the overall franchise, or he's a sidekick in the overall lineage of Hanna-Barbera, is what we can say, in the grand scheme of things. He's not Flintstones, Jetsons, any of those Scooby-Doo, so, you know.
This episode gets a 1 out of 10 because it doesn't have every representation of all the Scooby-Doo ripoffs.
If they
Because
did that.
they don't have
Space Jam?
No, they don't have my boys, the Amazing Chan and the Chan Clan, which is a bunch of Asians solving mysteries. I'm not joking.
I remember that.
There's no way.
The Amazing Chan and the Chan Clan.
Clan.
Yeah, look it up. The Amazing Chan and the
I
Chan.
know, but they're not bringing that into this. They're like, I think even then they're like, hey, I think this was a little bit.
You say that, but Susie's a background character from that show, and she's in a real world of this universe.
Yeah, one of them. They're just gonna drag the whole franchise in here. Hey.
I just want because I think that name is funny.
It's a gold name.
Also, the theme song is funny too because it's a funky theme song, but like it's also you get the whisper Chan and the Chan Clan. What's that? There's a lot of this old Hanna-Barbera crap that like I just never watched. But like again, watch Jellystone. They make fun of all that stuff.
Is Chan with a K or a C?
C. All in the C. All in the C.
That's a lot of K's if we're talking about the clan. You know,
Yeah.
That's a triple C, not a triple
Who
K.
knows? It's like the 70s. It probably was an episode. They had to solve.
Who's
There's
taking our...
a different clan's going against us. We have to fight a different clan. What clan?
Yeah, this was a pretty cool episode, and again, we're going to talk about the season 2 episode in a second. One of the characters that's in the season 2 episode, in this episode, is also in season 2's episode, and it revolves back into the fact that again, this show has an overarching plot because you have Angel, who is completely different when we see her again in season 2, episode 11, which we are about to get to. But I think overall, this is a fun journey. This is a fun journey with these with characters that sadly have been forgotten over time. That's just what's happened here, and so acknowledging their existence is always good. And this is just a worthy special moment.
And it's a legit fun crossover episode. Scooby Doo just feels a natural crossovers. It's always fun when he does one, and he has crossed with these characters before. I think the first time he crossed over like mostly the Hanna-Barbera library was like an old show called The Laugh Olympics. And it's like their cartoony Olympic games were like it's Hanna-Barbera Endgame or Hanna-Barbera it's Hanna-Barbera Infinity War.
Like Wacky Races?
No, Wacky Races is his own like thing. It's not a crossover.
Okay.
Alright, let's go ahead and slide.
But some of those characters from Wacky Races did get their own shows, like Penelope, Pit Stop, and whatever.
Right. Alright, let's slide over to season 2, episode 11, our second episode focus here, and this is the Midnight Zone. This is when you jump into this episode straight from season 1, like I said before, you definitely feel how much development there's been, because there's just so much more going on here. You're talking about World War II era German robots. You've got a bird villain that's straight out of Courage the Cowardly Dog. It's, there's a summary. There's he is like from that show. The gang, right.
Yes,
the gang decides to go into a wealthy kid's submarine that doesn't blow up, thankfully, when they go to a cove, but it does clearly almost explode. So yeah, that's the journey there. This is again like you just get to see how conceptually wide open these episodes can get. Like that's what's cool about I think the Midnight Zone. It's like this is something you just don't expect out of Scooby Doo if you just were jumping in. That's why this is clearly not an episodic series. This is definitely something that, hey, like if you just jumped into this, if you were watching like regular show in 2012 when season 2 was airing, and then like this was next, and you're like, what is this? This is Scooby Doo? Like you'd be like, where are we? What is happening here? That's why like you definitely want to be able to like acknowledge, because you have characters that are referencing Daphne. I don't know if you see those kids before. Do you see those kids before in previous episodes?
No, they just show up in this episode. She's just like...
They say she's a babysitter, but they don't like... But I was like, oh, maybe they have references before.
They did reference her being a babysitter before. They didn't show all of the kids she babysat.
Are their parents, the two boys, are the parents ever seen before this episode as well?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so this was just... Oh, I thought
they referenced him because the Seal was the first Scooby.
Right.
He was technically the first Scooby.
Right.
So they was referenced.
But they were talking to them as if like, I thought there was a lot of backstory here. The way that it semed.
No.
So
it's one of those.
Here.
It's one of those. I have a job as a babysitter, so I know all of these kids. So I know their parents, and I.
Okay. For a show with an overarching plot, I thought that they were.
They don't.
Because it feels like this is a major moment for this series overall, and so I thought, oh, okay.
Yeah. Just that one little part is that's just them getting a ride.
I see. Yeah, this is again like a pretty cool direction for just a Scooby Doo episode. Mark, what did you think?
Okay, so this is what like the first episode we watched, a good episode because it's very episodic. When I looked up, it's like one of the first episodes to not matter to the continuity. This one, I knew I was in for some shit as soon as I got a previously on, and I'm like, fuck. I am going to be lost with some of the emotional aspects of this episode, and like I am. It's just like a lot of this show kind of revolves around like stuff that has been like established earlier. and so I kind of lose the impact of it just by walking in to this. But like I still like the art design, and you know the characters are still fun. But like it's an okay episode. It's an interesting episode. I think I'd like it more if I go through the actual series.
Yeah, I can't hurt it for that. I think overall, like, what I noticed though is like this was a massive set piece. This was a massive sequence. This like the 10 seconds, the explosion, the whole destruction, that had to be a massive piece of the budget. This is obviously still in the first half of the overall of season 2, but clearly like this was a major like expense, because you're talking about like you got a lot going on in those last like 5 minutes in terms of like things moving around in the background, a lot of like animated things that are happening, like a lot of money clearly spent here, and that's cool. Like, but again, like I think like I like the fact that here we are, and unfortunately, like Mark said, it's like I just
walked in.
I just walked in. I'm sorry. Like for instance, like I will say, now look. They did the previously on, and it's like you see Angel and Angel Dynamite, and she's like, I've changed, but it's still me. And then at the end of the episode, they're like, one of you has to stay behind. It's like, who are they putting? Well, you got the main fucking cast, you got kids. You're not going to leave those fuckers here. So you give the black woman that was apparently a villain for a momentary piece of time, you get her to leave, to stay behind. And, you know, it's like, you know, hey, you made her a villain, so I understand. You did that. But, like, it was, like, kind of funny, because it was like, we dragged her along because, well, we're going to need this at the end of the episode. Because someone is going to need to stay behind. And then that raises the stakes of, holy shit, they ended an episode with a apparently potentially dead person at the end of a Scooby Doo show.
She did.
Oh, she's actually.
Thanks for spoiling it!
Well, either way.
I didn't think you were going to watch it.
Someday I was.
No, he wasn't. He hasn't watched Avatar the last time.
Yeah.
Shut up!
Away, he's watching that.
So yeah,
Don't tell him!
She did. She died.
Yeah, so that's bold. That's like, even though it was set up ridiculously, it was bold. Like, you know, and again, I love the idea of like just building in this vast idea of this undersea area. I love that, but yeah, like that was bold. Like I appreciate that. This is like not pulling punches. This is like, oh, we're building on this series step by step by step. We're gonna do these things that we can do in a Scooby Doo show. And yeah, definitely dig it.
It's so weird to walk into a show you haven't been watching and then watching the previous season. I'm like, gee, shit is going down. I remember like with like I was like my Discord boys, and like a funny thing we did was we were talking about Riverdale, and like we never watched the full episode, but what we did is like we were skimming through seasons on Netflix, and we just like we never watched the full episode, but we would like we would just go through seasons and watch the some of the recaps. Some of the previously on recaps, and like just like see how nuts the show gets,
because that's like, when they show the high points, the low.
Oh
points,
yeah, it's like a trailer.
Yeah, you get someone get hit.
Someone
gets hit by a bus. Someone gets thrown across the screen. Someone gets slapped with a shoelace. You know,
for any show that has heavy continuity and goes to weird places, is like just like watching watching the previously ons. And like skipping a couple episodes and just watching the previously on, it's a nuts experience. But anyway, this episode, like I guess like the most interesting thing about this episode was those two kids are from an earlier show called The Adventures of Moby Dick.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
And it predates Scooby Doo, so Scooby Doo isn't an original name. So I thought like before like
this is A+. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so like I thought they were unoriginal for naming the seal Scooby Doo. No, the show Adventures of Moby Dick came out in 1967. Scooby Doo, Where Are You came out in 1969. So they were unoriginal of naming that fucking dog Scooby.
Man,
but Scooby Doo became more famous.
And so,
but yeah, but like Shaggy said, the Scooby Seal was the first Scooby.
Impressive.
But like also
Mark coming in with the facts, ladies and gentlemen.
But like I also recognized like the like as soon as I saw those kids pop out with that suit, I immediately recognized them because the Like the fat one.
Because they're the adults that are going to eventually own that submarine that goes down the Titanic. That's right. Oh.
Ha!
Is that not accurate?
No! But, like, as soon as the, like, those kids came out with those suits, I recognized the fat kid immediately because, because in Jellystone, they had that character, and, like, he's funny because he's just a German boy who just, like, eating, like, oh, I love the chocolates, ooh!
Oh my
Yogi, can I have some of your chocolates? And it's just, he's such a fun, I think he's mostly in season 3, but, like, he's a funny, like, character in that show. Again, Jellystone is gold. Please watch Jellystone.
Man, that's ridiculous.
But yeah, and like I knew they were from a different show as soon as I saw that character show up. But like, that's a German boy from Jellystone. That's a fat German boy.
Martin, what again, we talked about obviously the previous.
And I'm sorry. I just love he talks stereotypical German. He's like, I'm German, yeah.
I will go to the
Also in the old show, The Adventures of Moby Dick, they don't have a ship. They have a literal like whale.
Yeah, no, because that sounds about right. Back in the 60s, yeah, Moby Dick is a whale. That sounds about right. Man, that's crazy.
They just have a giant.
That's incredible.
They have a giant whale that helps them on their adventures, and that whale can kick ass.
Martin, did you know already that you had 2 crossover episodes in one? Did you know about that?
Mr.
I knew this was the Scooby Doo earlier Scooby Doo. I was trying to say that earlier, but I didn't know how way to put it.
Ah,
I was saying he's Scooby Doo, the first Scooby Doo.
Yeah, this series is brilliant with the Hanna-Barbera lineage here. This is incredible.
A couple like Hanna-Barbera shows do that. Another another Hanna-Barbera show that does that is like a Yo-Yogi. They like a bunch. I think they have like a bunch of like Hanna-Barbera characters who go to the same school as Yogi. It's a bad show. I think like the Flintstones kids like I think they have Captain Caveman in there as like it's. As like another a different separate segment of the show, but they're from different shows.
Right.
Like a couple like the older Hanna-Barbera shows like fuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hanna-Barbera is just treated as one property. Again, that's why Jellystone exists. They just like make fun of all that. That's what I love Jellystone for.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, Martin. What was cool about? I know we talked a lot already, but what did you find cool about Midnight Zone? As someone that's known about the series overall, is there any further value there that we can dig into that we haven't talked about?
This is the part of the story of Scooby Doo where things started to get real because, like I said, she did die, and it started the
spoilers.
The characters.
Oh my God.
This characters start to. Also, actually, no, this isn't the first episode that got really real. First episode that got really real is when we found out that Fred's father isn't really his father, and that his mother and real father are actually villains.
And
who?
God damn!
Interesting.
So,
dude, you were gonna watch this.
I was going to watch it eventually. I was sold on these 2 viewings.
Hey, Martin, I'm sorry to tell you, but Mark was going to watch this in 2035, and he's very disappointed that before his 2035 viewing, he was not able to actually...
And now you actually owe me money. You say you don't care about spoil. You say I don't spoil things for friends.
Oh, he did say... Oh, no, that was from an earlier conversation.
Where's my $2, Martin?
No.
Where's my $2?
So like I said, this is the first episode I actually did watch. And as soon as I saw what happened, I was like, okay, now I have to go back and find out why this happened. I didn't know she was dead at the time. It wasn't until the end of the series that I figured that out. But yeah, I always like a mystery in any show. Any show with like an overarching mystery in the background, that's gonna get me hooked immediately.
Oh, you love Velma.
No.
What? Did you just mention your favorite show again, Mark?
Yeah, let's talk about some more. Velma.
No.
Anyway, Velma.
But yeah, and also, she's not a villain. She just did something stupid.
Right. Yeah. That's the case.
Yeah. So and it just stopped trusting after that, which was a little weird.
I will say she looks like she aged about 25 years from season 1 to season 2. Like her character design looks like. Because she looks very young I don't know if it's the fact that they gave her the eye, like all the eyes.
I think what it was. She took
like, it looks
her
like,
hair and get all the makeup. And
and that made her look like she was a senior citizen instead. Because there's not a significant amount of there's not a significant amount of design difference here in terms of like design range in these characters. So like she goes from looking like, oh yeah, she's a high schooler to like, wow, is she now the parent, like the grandparent? Oh my god.
Oh, by the way, I just want to talk about a dark episode in the first episode we watched. I like that lady and the teacher falls to the floor.
Yeah.
And the dune buggy, the speed buggy drowns, and then they save him by doing by doing the CPR where they push the chest of it, I guess.
Right.
And she was like, that felt great. Let's drown someone else so I can save him again.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Yeah, that happened in the episode, remember?
No, I think I just passed on that dialogue. That's some fucked up dialogue.
Yeah, it was fucked up. You remember.
Don't.
Huh?
No, holy shit. That's incredible. That's a good catch, Mark. I'll say that much.
I was never thinking too deeply about it.
Mark
Now
with
that you said it.
the murderer's language here.
Alright, pause the recording.
No, I don't need to go through the episode again.
I'm not. Pause the recording.
Back.
I just showed them the clip.
Yeah, holy shit. I mean, again, it just...
No, that didn't go past me. I was like,
It just
Jesus!
kept going, so you didn't catch it at first. So
It was a good joke. It was a good joke, so I caught it.
If they were lingering on it, it would have been a lot. I'd have caught it easier. But they just
If they lingered on it, it wouldn't have been funny because they went past it so fast. It was funny.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah, that's... Oh my god. That's just quick and you'll miss it on that one, but... Yeah, man.
And another joke, I think it's a running gag throughout the series is, Freddy has a thing for, booby traps. I'm gotta be careful how I say it, because,
yes.
You can't just say traps, but, he has a thing for, he has a fetish for
Why
booby
can't
traps.
you say traps?
Because traps is another word for,
a cute boy.
No. I mean, you can just say traps, but if you're using it in a certain context, sure. Yeah, no, Fred
just
has
be
a
specific,
fetish.
you gotta say booby traps.
Fred has a fetish for traps.
You can just say traps.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know, but
Yeah, he wants to...
well, you guys are immature. It's like if I say an innuendo, you're like...
yeah,
It's a reference to sex.
If you said an innuendo, I would clip this video right now, and then I'd just kind of, dig deeper.
You'd what, motherfucker?
Dig deeper into it.
Squat up. Anyway. but yeah, that's a funny running joke. I think it gives him more personality too, because he has a lot of personality in this version. I mean, in this version of the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think as we overall just generally wrap up on the idea of this series, do you guys have anything else core to say here? Because look, I mean, Mystery Incorporated was clearly one of the better interpretations of Scooby Doo. They attempted, again, they went into a new direction. They tried to go for an overarching plot line. They ended up with a solid 2 seasons that kind of delved deeper into our characters and the surrounding characters beyond them. It gave you more than just the standard Scooby Doo language and style that, again, people are nostalgic for what's new Scooby Doo, but that is just standard Scooby Doo modernized. There's nothing significant that it does really differently. It still is that classic format, but this actually goes into a new direction. Its art style takes a few liberties, which is cool, from going beyond just the standard look, and I think it does it pretty well. Yeah, again, this was just came out at a time when Cartoon Network was hitting on all cylinders, so it was easy to miss, but it's something that can easily be caught now, whether it's on whatever streaming service you're watching. So, yeah, what do you guys think?
I do like the idea this episode gives is there's been a lineage of mystery solvers throughout the years.
Yeah.
And they just passed the torch. The torch has been passed to them. There's been generations of mystery solvers. Kind of like how in The Legend of Zelda there's been generations of Link. It's just a prophecy. There's even after them there's going to be another gang of mystery solvers. And it kind of makes sense of the whole Hanna-Barbera thing of having all these Scooby-Doo rip-offs, because it's just it doesn't combine that idea, but I tried looking up the mystery solvers. They from the past are just made up. They're not from an old Hanna-Barbera show or anything. But but like I just like that idea a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Martin, this series overall, this episode over, these 2 episodes overall, if you had any closing thoughts or anything critical that you wanted to mention, what would you say to people that were maybe interested in jumping into this? I mean, again, I think great recommendation. This is a cool take on Scooby Doo. So, it's not, you didn't just choose the nostalgic favorite of what's new. You chose a different take here. So, solid choice.
Like I said, it's not much more I can say because, like I said, episode 14, episode the Midnight Zone was the first episode I saw. So it was just alone with this whole segment, everything that happened, just got me hooked into the show. That sent me back to the beginning. I do have to say that season 2 was a lot better than season 1. Season 1 does a lot of the teen stuff in the beginning of it.
Season 1 does a lot of bullshit.
It's not total bullshit. But
just a little drama-ish.
Yeah,
stuff.
it gets for it.
I haven't seen anything. Season 1 except for the episode we watched.
it does lighten it down, and also season 1, the parents will be very infuriating because they're trying. You'll notice that the kids are trying to solve the mystery, and the adults are actively trying to prevent them from solving the mystery.
And that sounds about fitting for teenagers. And
No.
I did see a couple clips.
They trying to stop them solve the mystery because
they're on the side of the.
They want the monsters to roam the city because they'll bring in tourists.
I see.
So
more attention to the screen.
Yeah, they like don't solve the mystery. If it's the monster, leave it there. Let it wreak havoc.
Yeah, Dipper, don't solve the mystery.
Let everyone get hurt because it'll bring in the revenue for the city. And that was
let them fight.
That dynamic,
let them fight.
I'm glad it ended in season 2. Yeah, because man,
it's like Godzilla 2014. Let them fight.
But I say if you're going to start watching the show, do watch it from the beginning. If you watch this episode, The Midnight Zone, it probably will hook you. I'm not saying
it's not a guarantee. No, nothing's ever a guarantee.
But if it's any episode that'll hook you, it probably will be this one because definitely a Scooby Doo show. This is just.
I think if you like Scooby Doo in general, or the art style.
I wouldn't say that because there are people who don't like a continuity and continuous. Right, they'd rather just have that.
Yeah, there are definitely people I imagine
that would rather have what's new Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I wouldn't like classic Scooby Doo are probably going to stick with the. Oh, this is typical Scooby Doo. This is what I like, but
it still follows the formula pretty well. It's just it has continuity to it. So I'm saying if you just start from episode 1, can you keep going? You'll be fine.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Yeah. I think just starting the show from episode 1 because I haven't seen episode 1, but I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt from the episode I've seen. It's because even this one going into it, without any prior knowledge, it still does feel like Scooby Doo. Yes, and I'm pretty sure the first episode does have that same feeling as well. So it's I think people who are into Scooby Doo already. Even though this is a different type of format, it will already feel familiar to you. So it's just it's a different type of story the way it's being told.
It's so fascinating because this is the type of series that would have been perfect for HBO Max when Velma came out. This would have been a perfect what's a streaming version of Scooby Doo that would hook people for multiple episodes and continue on and get people interested in the idea of. Continuing on with this teenage crew and go into a different lens. This is a perfect concept of how to execute that. All right, episode 1, 2, 3, 4. You're following through on a streaming service with a streaming series. It's got a continuous plot line. It's got some new ideas coming to the forefront. It's hooking you. It's getting you interested in ideas. It's got some crossover with classic Hanna-Barbera. So if you do know about that, you're gonna like it, right? It's that's a perfect thing for a new streaming service, which you would think that would have been a perfect idea for something like in the Scooby-Doo realm. And again, I don't want to spend any time on Velma, but it's just astronomically painful to see that got the attention at the time, and this would have been, or just a show like this. I would have definitely said, hey, just a show like this for Scooby-Doo. If you're commissioning someone to do a new Scooby-Doo show, it's hey. And you need it for your new streaming service. It's hey, we want it in this format, and we think that that's going to be the way that people would actually continue to follow through.
It's a sad part. They're currently doing that.
Yeah, Very strange, because again, this executes it much better, and it makes you much more interested in the world around the characters as well. Because again, the whole point of the original Scooby-Doo, it's like, you don't care about the fucking world around them, you just care about the characters, and not even that, you probably care, like Mark said, more about Shaggy and Scooby than you do the other three, like, unless you really had a crush on Velma, so... Like,
I mean, just going to Velma again, maybe the show probably would have been more bearable with a goddamn talking dog.
What, like, Velma?
Yeah. Maybe
No, it's
a
just
little
not
bit
bearable. Dude, no, stop.
Just like Ripple, just like,
No,
if you're
just
going to be like a
show.
generic adult show,
Yeah.
just like, have Scooby-Doo just be Brian Griffin from Family Guy.
Just a straight man.
Yeah, just a straight man. Just have him just literally rip off Brian
Sorry,
Griffin
you showed
from
us
Family
a
Guy.
clip earlier today, and now it's all...
Excuse me, sir, would you like to try my smoked meat lot? So stupid. By the way, this show has some funny jokes. I've seen some clips of like
Yes.
of them referencing some like older Scooby-Doo stuff, like that the scam artist from 13 Ghosts, they mentioned, like, there's this old show called Scooby-Doo and 13 Ghosts, and one of the characters was like a little boy scam artist, and Mystery Incorporated, I think they see like a plaque or a trophy of him or something. It's a statue, and they just like say that he got arrested for like some kind of scam.
And then that same they turn around and they see
Scrappy,
and they're just like, back away. We probably not to say anything about it. Back away.
Yeah, like that already existed too.
Gold, man.
Yeah. But I think another funny joke, but this is really, I guess it just put out the gun on the teenagers in this episode we actually watched.
Yeah.
I find that extremely funny when it's like, we brought ointment, and then next thing
They are careful with it, because when she shoots the gun, it just like, you don't see anything shoot out of the gun. It just like flashes white.
Just a flash.
I think
it's kind of like how Batman the animated.
They only use guns when they fighting robots.
Okay, yeah.
Even in the early episodes when I'm gonna tell you that they don't only do mysteries of people who committing crimes, like stealing something. They also do people who like assassins who are out to kill the Scooby-Doo fan, or robot dogs who are out to kill them. There are literally moments when the thing they're trying to do is not committing a crime in the city. It's just trying to kill them. They're trying to kill, because the bird sent them out to sent them out.
Right.
Well, we just mentioned that. It reminds me how they try to get away with violence on old shows, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like how they get away with violence. All the soldiers are robots. Same with Samurai Jack. Everything he cuts, it's all robots.
It's all robots.
They also know that they replace all of the blood and robots with oil.
I mean, yeah, that's also why,
Which is funny, because when they reboot Samurai Jack, he's actually killing actual creatures, and he's like, but they're supposed to be robots.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, again, that's why, same deal with Star Wars, the prequel era, when they first came back with Episode 1. It's like, we want to do a bunch of lightsaber goofy stuff. Let's just make them all droids. Make them all droids, done. We don't need to talk about, losing an arm and a hand and all that stuff, and, so, it makes it easy to do a bunch of fights. I would recommend this. Again, Warner Brothers Animation, at least going on the Cartoon Network in 2010, was just hitting it pretty well, because you had Mad and you had this, and both of them I'd say are worthy watches. It's now been almost 15 years since their original premiere date, which is insane, because this still looks fairly good. Not even fairly good, it looks pretty good, especially when you think about all the other streaming shows out there that have capped budgets. Like this, again, it works. I was watching this on, let's say I was watching it on a website that had some, let's say, ships at bay that were not supposed to be there. So, it still looked good for the time.
All right. I'm just gonna say last Scooby-Doo thing I'm just gonna recommend to the audience is I watched.
I don't know why that led to deadpan. Fuck you all. Fuck you all out there in America.
My brain was somewhere else. Okay, I just randomly thought like last Scooby Doo thing I'm gonna last Scooby Doo thing I'm gonna recommend to the audience is watch the Scooby Doo episode of Harvey Birdman where Shaggy and Scooby are on trial because they got caught driving under the influence of weed.
Isn't that the whole theory about why in the
yes,
season but in the same episode they explained why that is.
Yeah, they just act like that.
That's just how they are.
Also, they make because like
don't spoil the episode.
God. Yeah, don't spoil it. You can't go back.
I'm not.
Yeah,
there's more to it.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is behind the scenes. This is actually not a spoiler. This is behind the scenes. But anyway, also you owe me money.
I didn't say shit. Fuck you.
Both of you owe me money. Fuck you. Anyway, but behind the scenes of the episode, Hanna-Barbera is like they're still very. I mean, not Hanna-Barbera. Warner Brothers. They're still very protective of that Scooby Doo property. So they're like, make sure you don't say they're on weed or under any kind of influence.
Yes.
Scooby Doo and Shaggy are clean. If you're gonna use them in this episode, they're clean.
Yes.
Also, they hardly ever they don't ever show up in Jellystone except for like one episode for a cameo appearance. But you think like with a show with like a bunch of like Hanna-Barbera, they would like be like regulars, but like they have like I think there's like a couple of characters they just can't have as regulars. Like the Flintstones are not regulars on there, but they do get reference or cameos on there. I keep going back to Jellystone, but like that's probably gonna be a cartoon chat eventually.
Absolutely. And again, this is a show that reminds me every day that Cartoon Network should have had its own streaming service before they went and made Max, because this would have been a solid thing to highlight it. But again, Max was late to the party to begin with. So,
which is, what's weird? There is so much Scooby Doo, and like I guess there's so much to syndicate.
Yes.
But my memories of like Cartoon Network, what they would spam the most is Tom and Jerry. But you figure there's more Scooby Doo to spam. But I guess like Tom and Jerry.
No, they would spam that. That what I recall is that was summer, and then it seemed like Tom and Jerry got the attention toward the mid 2000s more than anything. But yeah, they would spam a lot of Tom and Jerry. But they also in summer because Scooby would get a lot more of the movie time. That's when they would put a lot of the Scooby movies on.
Shows I don't see so much. The movies don't.
A few back to back, but again, we're talking early 2000s. I mean, our memories could be whatever direction, but I remember more Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry was a constant, definitely. Scooby Doo maybe not as much, but even if the show wasn't happening as much, the movies were definitely in their place, especially in the summertime. Like in the summertime, holy shit! Like they would fucking rewatch.
I rewatched so many Scooby Doo movies, and like because the Cartoon Network just keep rerunning them and rerunning them.
All right, so we're gonna take another pause. All right, so that wraps up our thoughts on Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated. We may do again with all these shows. Again, like I told you, Mark, eventually with Duckman, I want to go back to that. There's so much to love with that show. There's eventually a point where maybe, I don't know if this one I'm leaning too much to go and do another cartoon chat, but there's a chance eventually that we could go back to any of the series that we talk about. But it was great to see more about this show. It was great to see more about a Scooby Doo.
So how many more episodes of Jackie Chan Adventures are we doing? How many more episodes of Jackie Chan? Is it another two-parter? Are we doing another two-part Jackie Chan Adventures?
Can I fucking close this? All right, so what we're gonna do is we'll have Mark do a solo of 5 episodes of Jackie Chan Adventures, and Martin will.
All right, everyone, get out of the room.
April Fools, but again, this has been Cartoon Chat, the animation conversation. You can find it right here on ScreenBlastPodcast.com, on ScreenBlast Society on YouTube. You can find it on. You can find us. Where can you find us? First, you can find me, Brian the Baltimorean, on at Democracy. That's ATHEMO. Oh my God. ATHE.
Can't spell some name. Look at this dude.
.com. You can find.
Might want to spell again. I yelled over you.
You can find Martin at nowhere. You can find him right here at ScreenBlastPodcast.com. You can find me at Democracy. That's ATHEMOCRACY.com, as well as right here again on the Screen Blast Podcast. And you can find this man
at K9Biscuits. That's K9BISKUTS Woo!
I think you mean to say you took the domain come. So congratulations, guys.
Woohoo!
And always you can watch us again right here, ScreenBlast, number of different podcasts. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.
Scooby Doo!